Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? This is Valiant, and I am spawning as Snuff in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Zerg, and my opponent, forthelulz, as the blue Zerg up in the top right. So, what you're seeing is me playing as a Zerg player. You know, something different. You might not have seen me played as a Zerg player, maybe only one time. When I first started out Starcraft 2, I started playing as the Zerg, and as a beginner player, not really playing, really any at all of Starcraft 1, bad idea to start playing as Zerg. So I switched to Terran because um, at the time I didn't know, everybody thought it was overpowered. I didn't think everybody thought of it as an easy, just whatever anybody thinks about it. Not liking it at all. But I do like the Terran. They are. I do play well with them, as a lot of people. But definitely, what a beginner player should do, though, they shouldn't really play as Zerg. If it's your first time playing StarCraft, um, at all, really. So, what I'm going for this game, I think I go for like 12 pool and 15 hatchery. So, um, that's kind of what I was starting to go for when I started playing Zerg. Um, when I started back up playing Zerg, I've been practicing a lot of Zerg, trying to get really good with them. And it does take a lot of practice. I've been playing against the very hard computer um, for a while, really, and trying to get a specific build down. I don't know what, kind of default, if you will. I don't really know the basic Zerg build. So I kind of go 12 pool, 15 hatch, and then around 20, I get my Roach Warrens, or Roach Warren. So around the late teens, get my Queen up, and all that stuff. I don't really have a specific build, and that's where the kind of the new series, or mini series, I guess, comes in, that I want to create. I want to create a series called Escaping the Bronze League, because a lot of bronze players tend to, and I had some good micromanagement there, moving a couple drones off of the line, and helping me take out the Zerglings with ease, with no problem at all. So, escaping the Bronze League is about, helping out the bronze players escape the Bronze League, as it sounds. And what I mean by that is, a lot of bronze players, or at least I did when I first started, and it seems to be this way for a lot of bronze players. But I never really had a specific build. I was kind of just making things up as I go along, and I didn't really, practice and watch replays and really understand what I was doing wrong. And the way you can start off by, understanding what you're doing wrong is, if you ever think, well, so and so did this to me this time, so I should probably do this to prevent it from happening next time. You don't want that to happen, because StarCraft 2 is a real-time strategy game. What is happening now is what you need to do. You don't plan for next game. The game before. You don't do that. But you can do that if obviously you can do that if you have a certain build that you like to use on a specific race. Yeah, go ahead. But for example, if your build is something like, well, I don't really know. Say like 4-gate for Protoss. You want to go ahead and do a 4-gate and get some quick units out, but your beginning units will most likely be a lot of Zealots. But what if your opponent is, Terran, and you plan on going 4-gate against a Terran? What if he goes for a very, very quick factory and like gets cloaked Banshees right away? If you're that Protoss and you get beat by, quick cloaked Banshees, don't, go back and say, or don't say, well, I should probably get an observer out, or start putting a lot of photon cannons down. You know, an observer is always good. So if you want to put up an observer, you know, go ahead and do that. But you know, you don't really want to, like I said, do the old switch your build up just because something happened in the past game. No, you want to play one build and one build only for a while. Well, not one build only. Sorry. You want to get a build for, you know, that works well on each race. And obviously, one build, you can't just have one build and go with it. But have a build that works on each race and practice that build until you get it perfect against the computer. You know, play a very hard computer. Try to beat the very hard computer. You know, every time. Never lose. You never want to lose to a very hard computer with that build. And if you do, you know, watch the replay, study it, see where you went wrong, fix it. I know it sounds really nerdy, but if you want to be a good StarCraft 2 player, you need to, you know, work on your builds and, you know, maybe write it down on a piece of paper or a notepad on your computer or a text document. Like, say for example, you watch a replay and say, on 32 supply, I should have gone this instead of this. So I guess number a paper with your supply and then say what you want to get for that, and maybe post it, you know, around your computer so you can see it so you don't forget to do it next game. I don't know, just some tips for the Bronze League or Silver League guys. And just remember to stick with one or not one. I keep saying one, but stick to you know, your 2 or 3 builds. Get them perfect against the computer. Work on one at a time. Say you want to play against. Say you're Terran and you want to play against Protoss and want to work on that 4-gate. Well, not 4-gate really. You shouldn't be very specific as a Bronze or Silver League player. Just say, I want to really get ghosts out pretty quickly against Protoss. You know, get a good build down and practice it until you never lose against the computer, until you win 15 games in a row with that build, and then you can move on to a different race with a different build and practice that. You know, a lot of, like I said, a lot of Bronze League players, you know, and I used to do it. They'll just make up a build as they go and try to scout whenever they can and see, you know, well, they're doing this, so I should go for this. You know, in mid game, you do want to scout and see what your opponent's doing, but you want to have a build that you know can go both ground and air. And as you can see, I went Utilist because I scouted pretty well and saw he was only going for, you know, ground units and that units that can only attack ground. So we have a pretty decent battle going on here. And you always want to get, you know, a unit that can see invisible units. Like I have an Overseer here, so if you're Protoss, you know, get a couple of observers out. If you're Terran, and I'm drawing a blank, mine's just drawing a blank, but you should get some missile turrets down. It's never a bad idea to get at least one down by your mineral line, even if you haven't seen your opponent, you know, going for air yet. It helps, you know, detect things. Photon cannons are also detectors, and the thing that I was thinking of for Terran are ravens. The ravens also are good units that can detect invisible units. So you always want to have a good army composition. I have a pretty decent one here. Roaches, munilings, zerglings, and I have an Overseer just in case he wants to burrow his roaches, so I can you know get them while they're burrowed. So like I said, these tips are mainly for the Bronze League and Silver League players. So for you Gold and up guys, this won't help you. You already know all this, and you're probably thinking, well, that's obvious, you know. But a lot of the Bronze League players might not know it. They might not know to do these things. So just letting you guys know, so you guys don't comment. You know, these tips are useless. Anybody knows this. Well, I didn't know it very well as a Bronze League player, so might help out some lower league players, and it will really help you escape the bronze league if you practice, 3 builds that can, one for Protoss, one for Zerg, one for Terran. Scouting is very key, and you want to do all that, so that can help a lot. My opponent, he didn't go for, he doesn't have any units that can attack air, except his Hydralisks. But it's a bit late at this point to put that Hydralisk den down. After, I've already got, I've already popped out like 10 mutas throughout the game, especially because I have a lot of ground units too as well that can take out those Hydras pretty fast. Against Zerg, my build's pretty decent. The only thing you got to worry about is, well, I don't really have a specific build this game, and that's another big problem. You always want to have a build in mind when that loading screen pops up. You see, oh well, I'm playing on so and so, and playing against Zerg. So I've been practicing this build against the very hard Zerg computer for a while. So let's let's do this build and get it perfect and get it right. Never get supply blocked. Always pumping out continuous harvesters. Harvesters are key, guys. But anyway, the guy, good GG's. Obviously, he didn't scout well enough at all, and like I said, that's what happens in Bronze League. People don't do what they're supposed to do. So you really need to work, scout well. So anyway, guys, that pretty much concludes this commentary. Hope helps some of you lower league players. All right, guys, I will see you all later. Bye.